A smattering of Nintendo games can now be found on the Humble Stor for United States-based shoppers, expanding the digital storefronts offerings beyond just PC, Mac, Linux, and Android platforms in the process. While over 40 games for Nintendo platforms can now be purchased through the Humble Stor, Switch or 3DS developers keen to get their own games placed on the storefront should not get their hopes up quite yet. So far, all of the games listed were either developed or published by Nintendo. Right now, that list includes Nintendo-developed heavy hitters like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Splatoon 2, while familiar Nintendo-published games like Snipperclips and several generations of Pokemon games have also shown up on the store. Listings for paid Nintendo Switch Online subscriptions, 3-month and 1-month, are also up for sale alongside DLC games like Splatoon 2 and Breath of the Wild, and microtransactions for the SWITCH's free-to-play Pokemon Quest. However, it's worth noting that purchases of Nintendo games are not eligible for the optional charity contributions, a Humble's built-in rewards program. Like most games on the Humble Stor, Skybound Games and Epic Games have partnered to bring Telltale's The Walking Dead, the final season on PC exclusively to the Epic Games Store for all future purchases. Starting today, the remaining chapters of Telltale's episodic series are available through the Epic Games Store on PC, but not for other digital storefronts like Steam or Humble Bundle. This news comes after Skybound reached a deal with Telltale back in October to finish development on the remaining episodes. The studio resumed work on the final season last month, with most of the original Telltale development team rejoining the project. As detailed in a press release, players who purchased a season pass of The Walking Dead game, the final season on a different PC platform, will still receive the final 2 episodes through their previous point of purchase. It's likely that the exclusivity deal was not motivated solely by sales of the game, as the press release seems to suggest that Epic helped fund development of the last 2 episodes of The Walking Dead. Epic stepped up to the plate immediately to work with us in order to bring the original team back together and ensure fans will receive the completed season of Telltale's The Walking Dead, the final season, said President of Interactive Damari and Skybound Games CEO Ian Howe in a joint statement. The 3rd episode, titled Broken Toys, releases on January 15th.
2019
Newsbrief. Microsoft is temporarily ending the All Access program. It opened up a few months back, saying that the payment-driven purchasing option will return later in 2019. First launched this August, All Access bundles, together an X1 console, X Live, and X Game Pass for either $21.99 and $34.99 a month. The agreement requires a credit check, and this is not an option for everyone, but offers qualifying parties a way to own an X1S, a X1 X without spending hundreds of dollars all at once. From the get-go, the All Access program was set to be a limited-time offer, but Microsoft now says it is looking to expand the program and that All Access will return at some point in 2019. Emmakidwell is a contributing editor at Gamasutra and SOMETIMES content for the web. I hardly play any video games, at least in 2018, with the exception of Detroit Become Human, its first and only mention in my GOTY. I missed most of the new hits. I am not sure if it's because 2018 felt like an eternity and drained my desire to do anything. Yikes. But I think I was just too busy. Not busy doing anything productive, but finding myself going back to play older games like Overwatch, Drive, Mario, or Jeopardy, instead with my friends and partner. I gravitated toward games with a social aspect. This past year's insert was my first full year working remotely for Gamasutra. Adjusting to a different schedule than your peers is difficult at first, but socializing through games helped a lot. I was also reminded a few days ago that I can write off video game purchases during tax season. So here's to 2019. In no particular order, here are my top 5 games released this year. Florence is a game I have thought about often since playing it toward the beginning of the year. Before diving into why it's a unique experience, I want to applaud the developers for making a game that's the perfect length of time, clocking in at around 2 hours. Florence tells a story about love at a great pace. The game takes the generic formula of a traditional relationship, meeting, falling in love, falling out of love, but it tells it in such a compelling way through its effective use of simple mechanics, powerful score, and unique art style. Games without lots of dialogue, a text need to go the extra mile to convey an engaging and emotional story effectively, and Florence absolutely nails it. I am not going to give away any story spoilers, because I encourage you to take the time to play it yourself. I will say that Florence is made for mobile and other short narrative games would find themselves a great home on the platform. Mobile is confined to a very small subset of mechanics, tapping, swiping, or holding an icon on your screen. Those constraints serve as powerful storytelling tools right for innovation. The game in its entirety is made up of small, digestible vignettes of very personal and intimate moments in adult relationships where both the good and the bad are shared in a special way. The nice thing about writing a personal GOTY list is that games ported to different platforms get a free pass, which means I can stand on my soapbox to talk about how important a Mortician's Tale is. To start off, this game works incredibly well for mobile. Simple point-and-click mechanics from its PC counterpart transitioned over smoothly to the small screen. I prefer mobile because it felt more personal this time around as I gently guided Bones over to the cramulator. I am not going to talk about how the American funeral industry preys on society's collective fear of death and dying, but a Mortician's Tale will, and not in a ham-fisted, preachy way. The game teaches you about a field often shrouded in misinformation and mystery in a very respectful and engaging way that is so unique to this medium. Do yourself a favor and play it. House Flipper is my go-to. Listen to a podcast and mentally check out for a few hours kind of game. That's in no way an insult. Like many other games on this list, it's the ideal amount of length. I usually play in 2-hour chunks, and literally watching paint dry is part of the fun. I had zero expectations when this game popped up in my library, but it's the most delightful title I have played in a while, especially when I am looking to relax. Yes, cleaning up piles of virtual garbage and scrubbing dirty floors is my ideal way to unwind. House Flipper is engaging enough to complete tasks without feeling like a chore, so you can upgrade your tools, earn more money, and complete strange requests for the homeowners you are doing manual, contracted labor for. It's a simulation game much like driving a truck through the mountains or tending to a field of crops, except this simulation game is active in a way I really like. where my contributions have some payoff and I see the result of my efforts. It's a great game to play, and come back to multiple times and go right back to stomping a bunch of roaches out. I do not like feeling dumb when I play a game, and I felt incredibly dumb during my time with Return of the Obra Dinn, even though I felt stupid going back and forth between my handwritten notes on the squinting against the description of Man with Weird Nose, and the artist's rendition of its crew members. I never felt dejected. I am not going to spoil any part of this game, because it's essential that everyone reading this feel as dumb and going as blind as I did, and nothing is more rewarding than solving something correctly with all the facts in place and the game rewarding you for it.